For now 4 years, we have overwintered our dahlias. That means that here in my zone, typically I'd want to dig them up because our ground freezes. They would rot out in the ground, but I hate storing them. Digging them up, storing them is a royal pain. So today we're going to take a look at the overwintered dahlias now that they're here in year 4, and I'm going to talk about dividing them. We're going to dig them up and see how they did, and I'm going to give you the benefits and the pros and cons of dividing in the spring versus in the fall. Let's go. Thank you to this year's sponsors, Advancing Eco-Agriculture, providing regenerative solutions for growers, and also to Albert Lee Seeds, serving farm families for over a century. So most flower farmers are going to be dividing their dahlia tubers in the fall. There are reasons for that. One is that they can sell the tubers, so they can do inventory over the winter. They can sell those tubers for a profit. Now, of course, I can still do that in the spring as well, but I don't get to plan quite as much what I have, all the quantities. It's a little bit more of a tight timeline. And of course, in spring, there's often a lot else going on. The other advantage, of course, is consistency. So if you already have a good storage process down for your dahlias, then it is probably a lot more reliable to be able to store them versus to store them in the ground. If you've never stored them in the ground before, maybe you don't know whether they're going to survive and come up in the spring or not. So if you're just getting into this, I always recommend just starting with a patch, maybe a few dahlias first, and then you can get into doing more and more of them. The other advantage is that if you are starting out with newer dahlias, you're able to see if they have diseases when you dig them up in the fall. If you started with new tubers in the spring and potentially we're seeing maybe some signs of disease, then you'd want to dig them in the fall and check them before you leave them in the ground all winter and just let them grow for the next year. Now, do I have to divide my dahlias every year? No, I don't have to, but there are benefits. One is that they are going to bloom a little bit better. They tend to get pretty crowded out by the time we really let them multiply, especially over several years. And also that I can still resell tubers in the spring. So that's my preferred. So now let's talk about pros of digging in the spring. Here you can see what my big pile of mulch looks like. So as you can see, I do a lot of leaves in the fall to protect these so that I don't let my ground freeze. I'd say this is maybe almost 2 feet of leaves, and then of course we tarp it to keep the moisture out. So the pros of doing it in the spring are that I'm not having to babysit tubers all winter. I don't have to worry about whether they're rotting or drying out. Of course, in the fall when it's freezing cold and I really don't want to be doing this, I don't. I just cut them down and I leave them. They store much more consistently for me this way, so I have a much better return on these dahlias. But again, I am still going to divide so that I can maybe sell some tubers for Mother's Day, also so that they'll still continue to bloom well even after 4 years. So this is really the first year in 4 years that I've dug them up and divided them. So let's see what they look like. I've done a couple here and there throughout the years, but not a ton. I'm going to use I might actually grab my shovel. This ground is pretty hard. So if you're wondering, like, can I grow my dahlias in clay? Absolutely you can. During our workshop, we were digging some up and you can see, I mean, this is pretty heavy clay soil and the dahlias are fine in this. So let's see if I can get one out using a pitchfork. I might need to switch to shovel. All right, so here's one. Now, when I'm mentioning advantages, one of the major advantages of doing this in spring is that these are mostly all eyed up. So dividing is much easier. So yeah, when my tubers are already eyed up, so you can see some of the eyes are even quite large, that makes my dividing job much easier than in fall. Because of course, when we're dividing our dahlias, we want to make sure that each tuber has an eye. But in the fall, especially if you're inexperienced when you're starting with dahlias, so doing it in spring has some major advantages, especially for those of you learning how to divide. All right, let's take this in to some better light and we're gonna tackle this big sucker together. Okay, I'm gonna do this on a trash bag because it does make a bit of a mess. So I think the hardest part, especially when you have a big clump like this, is always, where am I going to start? Because obviously this guy looks pretty intimidating. So I always start by removing as much soil as I can. If you have clay soil like me, sometimes it can be helpful to get something a little bit pointy, say a flathead screwdriver, to just loosen up some of this clay, or if you just let the clay dry out for a few minutes in the sun, and then it usually will flake off a little bit easier. So this is a big reason why we want to keep these dry. It's because it not only helps the tubers survive, it helps make it easier to dig them when we do dig them versus having wet soil. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have 2 pairs of clippers. This one is a little bit more of a sharp, so narrow scissor, and then this one is a little bit bigger, a little bit more beefy of a clipper. So this is for my like heavy cuts. Now, sometimes as I'm digging them up, I'll see it like a natural spot where I'd want to divide, and sometimes they'll even divide themselves. Usually that tends to be along where the stems are. So you can see I have a group of stems here, a group here, one over here. Sometimes they'll naturally divide, especially if they've been in the ground for several years, but not always. So if I were doing this, I would probably start by notching some out and just starting to find the ones that I know for sure have eyes. But I actually think that what I'll do today is show the other way, which is just by starting in half. So cutting this in half will be one way that you can start. Oh, look, I've already got one on the underside that just wanted to release itself. Okay, so there are some here on the underside that I'm going to cut off. So here's some. So especially with these big clumps, there will be eyes even on the bottom, not necessarily just on the top. And you can see I've got an eye, again, so nice and big in the spring to see, and an eye on this side. So I'm just gonna divide this right in half. I always look on both sides of the tuber, make sure my fingers aren't in the way. I'm gonna cut right through the middle, and then I've got 1 tuber, 2 tubers. So what we need for a viable tuber is always gonna be the tuber itself, the neck, and an eye. We need all 3 parts of those for these to be viable. So let's keep looking at that as we go. You keep going on the underside first, see if there's any others that jump out at me immediately for cutting out, like this chunk here. I'm gonna go back to these other longer scissors. Multiple clippers can be helpful. You might like one style more than another. Now, if you're seeing those little nubs, so the eyes always kind of start out by looking like these little swelling, look like they're looking, like they kind of look like they're going to become maybe pimples. Those are going to become your little eyes. And again, in spring, they're easier to see, but they're not always eyed up either. It kind of depends when you're digging them up. As you're digging these, if you're looking at them and you're like, I'm not sure if that's an eye or not, what you can do is lay these in a 10-20 tray or a wood tray full of soil, moist potting soil. Lay the tubers on top, put it in a dark, cool place for a few days, so maybe like a dark, cool closet, and then look and see if those eyes start to appear over time. If they don't, then you know probably not a viable eye on that tuber, but you can always give them a little bit of a pre-sprout and just see if there are any. All right, let's go back to dividing. Back to our big old clump here. I'm going to keep going from the underside because, as I mentioned, I'm going to be cutting this guy in half anyway. So the more I can get out from the bottom of this tuber, the more success I will have. Clearing off some of this soil can help. If you want to use a hose, you could do that. Here's a good example of an eye right where my fingertip is. So there we go. We've got our tuber, our neck, and our eye. All right, I think I got most of the ones I can get from the underside. So now I'm just going to start with my cutting this in half. So I'm going to start actually from the top, and I'm going to find a spot that feels like it would be good to kind of just take off one big chunk or go in half, because again, the odds of getting all of these tubers, every single one, especially when you're first learning how to divide, is pretty low. So you're going to lose some. It's just normal. As you're going to cut this in half, you might have some tubers that pop off on their own that kind of naturally divide themselves. Like this one just popped right off. It's got some eyes up here at the top. I'm just gonna nip off. This is an old stem here. And this one has a broken neck. So if the neck breaks on the tuber, then it's not going to be viable. Well, hello, no, sir. No, you may not come in. Go, goodbye. So as I was mentioning, if the neck breaks, so if this part of your tuber breaks, then it is no longer going to be viable. Now this always makes me sad. I found the mother. So the mother is the first tuber, the tuber that this clump started with. And usually by this time, the mother is in pretty sad shape. And this one looks like it's been actually eaten by something. It's starting to mold, it's starting to rot. Often they don't make it past one season. They've given all of their energy to the rest of the clump, which seems strangely symbolic, right? Anyway, you'll discard that mother, especially if it feels like it's rotten or if it looks like it's rotten. But you want them to kind of look like, you know, nice, healthy potatoes. Okay, as I've started to cut this clump kind of in half, some of these are just naturally, again, falling off. This one is not viable. There's no eye, so there's a tuber and a neck, but I don't see any visible eye, so we'll put that in the discard pile. So here's a good example of a rotten tuber. So you see it's just kind of smushes apart and it's wet, so it's kind of mushing in my hands. That's okay. The one next to it's still fine. I'm just gonna cut that one off. Now here's a good tuber. I'm just nipping off that little root hair because it'll be easier to plant. So I've got my eye, my neck, and my tuber. This is a good one. This one, as I started to cut it in half again, this tuber just naturally separated. So here you can see there's the stem from the old dahlia. I can just nip that off. I'm gonna take off some of these smaller ones. In general, as long as the tuber is the size of a AAA battery, it's going to create the same size flower as a larger tuber, which always seems crazy to me, but that's how tubers work. That's why, for example, a dahlia grown from seed will also create the same size plant, maybe slightly smaller at first, but at the end of the season, the same size potential for a tuber clump as a small tuber. So don't get caught up on size. It's not all about that. Now I've got 3 here that I'm going to divide, so you can see I've got an eye here, here, I have an eye here, and I have an eye here. So theoretically, I have an eye for each one of these tubers. I'm gonna come back to my long scissors, and again, I'm looking both sides of my hands as I'm cutting to make sure I'm not cutting my fingers. Okay, so even though this tuber is tiny, see how little it is? It's got a tuber, a neck, and an eye. So even though it's small, this one is going to be viable. Let's keep going and see how many we can get. Here's another example of a small eye just before it's really started to bud. You can see that little swelling right there, the tip of my finger. Okay, here it's getting hard to divide. It's another big clump, so I'm gonna again separate it into kind of like this stem over here on this side and that stem over there on that side. Come in with my bigger clippers, watch my fingers. Sometimes you just have to kind of do this like right through the middle. Again, if you're not finding a good spot to divide or they're a really big clump, sometimes just going right through the middle like that at least gives you a starting point to dividing. All right, last bit of divisions here, and then we'll total up how many we have. There are actually even advantages to these little tubers, which are that they're much easier to plant. So if I'm having to plant like a huge clump, I'm having to dig a much bigger hole than if I'm planting this guy. Now the downside, I will say one con of doing this dividing in spring and overwintering your dahlias is that you're in a bit more of a rush. So you know what I do is I tend to not do all of my dahlias, divide them every spring, because spring is already so busy. If you don't have time to divide all of them in spring, I divide one row every other year. And so that way I'm not having to divide all of them at once. And typically, honestly, usually I'm much less careful about how I'm doing it than when I'm doing it now, because I'm trying to show you guys how many you can get from one clump. So I'm trying to be a little bit more careful probably than I typically would. I usually am kind of just cranking through these guys. Last cut, and then we'll total up how many we got from one clump. So this one again has one eye, one tuber, and one eye, one tuber. Plus I'm gonna cut off that old stem just to make it easier to plant. Woo! So let's count out how many I got from that one clump. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
21, 22.
So it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I will immediately go ahead and replant these now. So now that I've divided them, I'm just gonna plant them right back into the garden and then they'll come up. So if I wanted to expand my dahlia area or sell some tubers in spring, this is a great way and time to do it. And you don't have to do everything the same either. So you can divide some in fall and store. You can put some in the ground and let them overwinter and divide them in spring. There's no right or wrong, or it has to be all or nothing, right? All right, guys, next I'm gonna be showing you all how, oh, I missed one, 23. I'm gonna be showing you how I divide 24. I'll see you guys around here next time at the farm. Happy spring.